Few icy spots here and there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Worst stretch was from Blairstown north of 30. It's so open right there.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's always a bad spot.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Kind of tight. Yeah, don't do it. But yeah, they started going out to Prairie Meadows. You know, they had a little card, they put machines and everything. They did the whole damn settlement on gambling out there.
No, Barb, I meant to, but I got hung up on it, but I can show you. Yeah, I've got extra copies of that one here. I apologize, Barb, I got caught up doing other stuff. Tim requires a lot of hand holding, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah, I'm needy.
And Deb Fleming's usually the person that I dictate to do the hand holding in the office, but she's not here this week, so.
You heard from her?
Not since, weekend, like Sunday.
Was she getting along?
Yeah, she just said she was, well, she didn't say anything other than, I won't be in for a doctor this year.
She's down all week.
Yeah.
I think I made this up, this just shows like percentage increases, what it would come out.
And
Thanks.
you will learn, like she gave me one earlier, you were late tonight, and you have been made permanent, secretary of this board for the next decade.
I'll be here the next decade. I can retire.
Cause I don't like shrimp and all that. And I put
Well,
salt
I win the lottery.
mushroom, like all the stuff he likes, but I
Good
don't.
luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already got it cleaned up and ate.
Okay, Haley, we're making headway on that, but he,
Well, I just
Yeah.
have the whole cash too, so
the full cash to me looks,
it has the debit in there.
so
Five,
when we
six,
do, when I do the report I have to do for the semi-annual report, it shows us off double that.
Well, did you get out of Inco to get back in it? But
Washington.
because it doesn't show, it still
Yeah,
doesn't show
split
it.
out. What does that
So
mean?
why she
What?
had to do
10%
an journal entry on
split
the
up.
expenses.
I don't
'cause
know.
they were-
That
Oh,
does not make
Washington's
sense.
the weird one. 7% July 1st, 3% on January 1st.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, really? That's what split up means.
Yes, that's what they did.
Let me get out.
Yeah, I've never heard of that being done
I've
before.
never heard of that.
I wondered that.
Well, that's better than what Tama County did, because Tama County said 15% for the sheriff this year, and we'll do 15% next year too, which is meaningless,
It's the way it was set up.
because they have no control over the comp for next year. You know, it's gonna have different members, it's gonna, might have a different sheriff, you never know.
But to me, I don't like it when they just get.
Well, that's what we
into
said,
it.
but
I wanna
that's
know
what we're gonna do.
what they're doing and why.
It wasn't bad either.
No, but
Well, I
I
think
mean
if
for
you
that
did the
matter,
average,
call and tell us to do,
not
I'm like,
counting
no,
sheriffs,
we don't just do
is
that.
6%.
Cause the cost of living is what,
And I think
9?
Winneshiek County, I might have it wrong, but Winneshiek County did 5.9%,
Yes, I have
which
those too,
was basically
so.
what Social Security is giving for a raise, or increase.
Huh?
But it's not the lady that said she.
5.9. Yeah.
Sheriffs are so high because of that legislation.
I talked to John Hunt about the changes in the law
Cause otherwise
about
we
the
had that
sheriff
Ron
stuff.
Barachi and that's who we
And
pay all
he
this
was
support.
polite
I
to
mean,
me on the phone, but I don't think he liked hearing any of it.
And-
Because,
and
because that's what we do, we don't have to follow the law here, we can just kind of do good old boy, do
I
what
don't know
we
by
think's
code
right.
what you have to do
But
if
I
you have,
am going to
I mean,
say
there's.
that's the law.
Barbara, you be
like
careful, because right
nothing.
now you're on candid camera. She turned that on, and you just said you're for back in the Barb instead of back in the blue, and that's,
It's right, isn't
I
it?
think it's time, cause Ben sets it up as a time to come on.
It doesn't seem to wanna sit right.
if it's red, is it on?
Did you get it?
Yeah, but
Uh-uh.
on the,
Knock it
A red light on top.
Knocked it out of focus.
It's got a little thing on it.
which ones? I don't know. No. No, but I.
Barb, you
noticed
just said that on
that it
camera
had
too.
The 21 instead of 22 on one, but I don't know if that was me
I couldn't
or.
believe Waffle
because it-
County, 30% across the
We just
board.
had to do an update.
Washington is up.
Was it Wapello's at it? Yeah, they've been so, it's like the Great Depression has been there since the 1980s.
What's
I mean,
Dallas? My dad sits on
I
that
don't
one.
know if it's on there or not.
Which one?
not on
My
there.
dad sits on Dallas.
Oh, I imagine.
No, Matt, what's on his dad sit on, Madison or Dallas?
Madison.
Madison.
I don't know if that one's there.
Yeah.
Madison, 5% for the sheriff, 3.5% for the attorney, 4.5% auditor, 4% for the recorder and treasurer.
Winter set.
Is that the county seat?
That is the
I've
letter.
heard that.
Over
That's
there?
what my dad said.
Winter set,
Shakes it.
right?
In that other room there?
Yeah,
In the
that makes sense, that
transportation
you have a Greenlee screwing up something over in that part of the state.
No,
We're not a
Greenlee.
Greenlee, right, you know, whatever your maiden name was.
But then,
A
how does that
Geiger.
work?
I didn't mean that part, you know, I do owe an apology, Mark, I'm so
I don't know
sorry.
how that works.
Apology accepted.
I didn't mean, I think you knew what my intent was.
Obviously.
Can't get away with anything. Government, you have to be transparent. You always, no.
Yeah, Waco County, they've always had such a tight border.
What'd you tell me Bremer was? Bremer and Washington.
Bremer is
kind of
5% for sheriff, 3% supervisors, everybody else.
Well,
Hello?
Lump sums.
You guys can sit. No, you can sit wherever. We don't bite over here. They're biting over there.
Where's the good guys at?
Bremer's the lump sum.
Maybe you can come over there. You don't have to.
You damn well won't
Yeah.
carry.
I just have all my apparatus over here.
Who's he represent?
Terry's my rep.
Gary, how are ya?
This shows the percentages increase like how much it was.
Did you see the thing I left you on the desk this morning about the bike?
I didn't read it. I didn't see it. Is that the thing, the email?
Well, that's why if you always go back to the audio, because I have that file too. So.
No.
I took Gary's thoughts.
You have to come in this way. Where's your little card access at?
What?
Yes, it is. I used yours one time here.
I did a big job.
Home records.
I know, I was worried about it.
Yeah, it's all right. I was just gonna give you a heads up, there's a law change that affects tonight, sometimes in this world. Yeah, Deputy Johnson. I just wanted to give a heads up, because what they're doing is across the state, because of the laws, it follows the law. The sheriff's huge reputation. Well, it's because of the law. Used to say, you shall restrict, now it says, you shall set. And part of that. So, you see sheriff's office, 30, 40,
Yeah. Cost of living's like
Cause mine are activated for that door. Some people don't. He couldn't?
$10,000 raise, kind of at the low end. You know, you use the numbers, what the code section tells you to do. And this is what they have, that's why it's not no longer. You shall consider, shall set. We have those numbers that the sheriff's got a chart, that he's gonna hand out. But I think that if you follow the code section and what the legislature was, and you look at the things they tell you to adhere to. Low end, low end, low end.
Sure, hi, Ron. It is cold.
That's it.
But it's gonna drizzle.
Let's go with that now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, shall set.
How are you? Nice to see you.
See you.
Are you healthy?
Yeah. The best
No, I have been a couple of years.
Oh, I forgot that. Look how.
Well, last couple of years, last year was.
Not good. That's too bad.
Well, I should say, actually, the year before. So, yeah, I haven't been through. Yeah. That kind of gets your attitude reevaluated.
You should, check.
But, no.
Got along good?
Yeah,
You're doing good.
Yeah, I'm
Great.
so I had one show.
That's awesome.
Short-term memory is putting it on and on. That's quite a little while. That's true. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a scary.
That would be scary, John. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Nope.
Good. Nice to see you.
South and Iowa counties have done their best to impersonate Sioux City area.
All those southern.
Hey, Rick, I came up with a new phrase. New phrase? I'm trying it out. I came up with it this morning. I might copyright it. You know how some folks are doing this Let's Go Brandon stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Let's Go Brandon. Well, my best kind of version of that is Let's Go Primer. I know I'm not going to copyright it because I just want that to be shared.
If I decide to run again, maybe I'll use that for my slogan.
Let's Go Primer.
Right?
Now, Rick, did you come in?
I wouldn't call you smart, actually.
No, I'm just looking out for you. But was that,
Looking out for you.
I'm just trying to help you out. You go ahead and run with that. I don't need you to credit me or anything. But was that a Chicago Bears scarf you came in with?
I don't know. Not a story.
I thought for a second the Jerry Petermeyer one.
Repurpose.
That's right. That's the way I am.
That's the way to be.
Why throw it out?
Yeah.
Newbies.
Lynn Shaneman. Good. You didn't bring that 45 caliber with you, did you? Okay, good.
Way to call him out.
I know, but I know that was your weapon of choice.
If you're gonna bring a weapon, I wanna know, because I'm bringing the biggest one, I'm not bringing a nice little gun.
He is known from Sheriff Copenhagen. He used to tell everyone that man there was probably the best shot in the county, and if he wasn't,
No stories now.
he was right up there with him.
Nothing wrong with being a good shot, your reputation, they won't
Yeah,
challenge you.
I did not see that. Yeah.
Isn't that her?
Tim, take notes.
That's her.
Oh.
She were here, so. They should welcome you and say thanks for being willing to serve, right?
It's a lot better now than it was 3 days ago.
Welcome to the club. Well, we'll see. I just he just looks
Right?
Yep.
Over there.
There you go, Barb.
man, we've got a problem.
Are we ready?
Right? Well, let's call the meeting to order. And the first matter of business will be to appoint a chairman. for this year.
Do you mind doing them again? He's a professional.
If you, well.
If you don't mind.
That's the best I really thought. I'll do it.
I think you did a good job.
I don't have a problem with it.
So is that your motion to give me?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you for your vote. Hope I won't screw it up. So we now need to appoint a vice chair. Any recommendations for vice chair?
Currently it is, that's what I thought.
Hang on a second, hang on.
I'm not nominating
The
both.
guy sitting right next to me, right here, Nick Cole.
Yeah.
A second. Was that a motion?
I make a motion.
Make a motion for a second?
I'll be
Second.
second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
Can I make one
You may.
suggestion, since we have some newbies here, and Melinda's taking minutes, if everybody could go around the room and introduce themselves? Just real quick, otherwise I'm afraid to say anything. Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a good idea. Well, John Young, Wilson Ag Insurance here in town.
Nick Wolf from Walford, retired, I worked at Supervisor.
You're a supervisor's rep. Yep.
David Thompson, Benton County Attorney.
Tim Dolly, Assistant Benton County Attorney.
Barbara Greenlee, Health and Land Use.
Mark Greenlee.
Rick Bremer, Supervisor.
Terry Harrington, Farmer, Watkins.
Janae Bendel, and I'm representing Treasurer's Office. Wendy Butler, Treasurer.
Gary Grisham, Supervisor.
Tracy Seaman, Supervisor.
I'm Haley Ripple, and I'm your auditor.
Amy Garacho, here on behalf of Haley.
Lynn Shaneman, I'm a retired police officer from Bell Plain.
Ron Tippett, Sheriff. Good. And actually, I'm so sorry, he's one of the business
No,
names,
it's
I
fine.
know you, but
We did have
I
some.
actually represent that by gal who's on the court. So, very good, thank you. All right, so I believe we have elected Nick as vice chair. So we'll go with that, Nicole. And next we need to elect a secretary. Leonard Schottman was the secretary at this point.
I'm very grateful that you took that on.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Or no, motion carried.
Yeah, she can second.
Sorry.
You second.
I second.
That's right. Okay. So regarding the minutes, which I'm assuming everybody has received of our last year's meeting, are there any questions, comments? If not, would there be a motion to approve those minutes?
A motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Jane. Is there a second? Okay, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so. What we're going to do is make sure, I'm gonna try to keep us a little tighter to our mission to actually get down to the wages and not get fired so much. I noticed in the reports that Glenn was kind enough to provide us with, quite interesting as far as the various counties, the amount of recommended, rate increases, so I mean, decreases, but increases all over the place. I mean, for 3.5% over or 25.4. Excuse me, just depending. So we have a wide range of things. Sure. Yes. Well, no, they are, they are. The sheriff's are. But I think there's a reason behind that as well. Do you have any memory of what's going on?
Back in June 17th of 2021, the governor signed Senate File 342, which was known as the Back the Knee Bill. And part of the work that went into that bill is that sheriffs across the state, the salaries were respectively low for the positions. So in the bill, which is now law, it used to state that the compensation board should consider setting the sheriff's salary that is comparable to salaries paid to professional law enforcement administrators and command offices of the state patrol, the division of criminal investigation, the department of public safety, and city police chiefs employed by cities of similar population to the population of a county. And that's a big change, because now it says that you should not consider those things. It says you shall consider them, and then you shall set the sheriff's salary in comparison with those.
That's my fault.
Oh, it's you.
Forgive me, I got a brand new phone.
Somebody else?
Then it was my gun. You leave yours on the pickup also?
Oh,
It's not me.
So, we put together some comparisons, and I'll let Lynn, my representative here, tell you about the comparisons, and it's done on an average.
Well, I was handed this just a few minutes ago.
My regular person, Mr. Norgard, has had some surgery and he is recuperating. I didn't wanna.
Run through some figures at me. I'm correct here, two figures I'm gonna give you for highway patrolman. Major highway patrolman makes $129,000 a year. A captain in the highway patrol makes $118,000 a year. And, let's see here. Let's tell you that. And, let's see, I see Ron right now makes, 96,236,074. He's quite low compared to somebody that's got almost the same responsibility. Maybe, I would say maybe he's even got more compared to the jail and so on and so forth he has to deal with. So, you can, take that accordingly.
The comparisons that I put together, Marshalltown has a population that is 2,016 higher than Benton County. Next down is Mason City. Somewhat is nearly the same. I don't know if you guys got the list of what's gone on so far. Wapello County, I believe, is a Tumwa, and I thought I saw them on a list somewhere. Wapello County went 30% across the board for everybody. So their police chief will go to 130,000. We took it down to the small, after Tumwa is Fort Dodge, Clinton, Johnston, Burlington, Waukee, and Muscatine. The average, you got that average paper there? Oh, there it is. The average of the cities, the population then comes out of those 9 cities to 25,064, which is just under Benton County's population. The average salary for those comes out to 124,146. Comparable places, as I did comparables, I'll tell you about them. The major, with the state patrol, the SA is like the special agent in charge. That particular one is the one that is in charge in Cedar Rapids, and a captain with the state patrol. The actual colonel, and then there are numerous Department of Public Safety chiefs, is what they list them as in their websites. I didn't feel those were good comparisons, actually. I'm assuming those people are all appointed by the governor, so those positions are somewhat, I'm elected, but I feel those are politically driven on another level. I didn't feel comfortable with those comparisons. They go from a high of Sheriff Paulson of 147, almost 148,000, and then down to some assistant special agent in charge of like 121,000. So they differ quite a bit in there. The average of everybody comes out to, of the comparison I did, to 123,645. That is not the high, that is not the low. That's the average. And that is about between 28 and 29% increase. I'll just need to give all county employees 29% increase and we'll be done with that.
Second.
Here's the bad ones.
No.
Wondering how we're gonna pull that out of the hat.
You knew it was coming. You knew I was going to say it. So. That's it.
The increase in the sheriff, would there be like a corresponding increase for the deputies then? Or not necessarily?
There would be for the chief deputy and the sergeant. Two positions. Ben, anything you need to add there?
No, I think you pretty well covered.
Part of the issue that we're running onto, and I know the board of supervisors is well aware of it, anytime we hire somebody right now, we have to compete with Blackhawk, Lynn, and Johnson counties to hire people. We know our wages are lower than that, so we're trying to do things to attract people. Which we've been talking to the board about. We have a $4,000 hiring bonus, and then Lynn County puts out a $10,000 hiring bonus. So it's just extremely difficult, and the word that they're using now is if I hire somebody, I am Dave.
Poaching.
I am a poacher. Stealing them from somebody else. That's the only way to get anybody. And we've done it.
Everyone's poaching.
Yeah, everyone's poaching. So if they could go from a smaller place to a little bigger place for some more money, what's going on? Belle Plaine Police Department raised their rates for their officers enough. They poached 2 from Blackhawk County Sheriff out of the jail.
Over the years in Belle Plaine, I can't give you an exact number of how many people we have lost due to the salary situation down there. We've had everything from the PCI agents, FBI, Secret Service agents that I know, and that all started out in Belle Plaine. A lot of them wound up in Benton County and then went right on up the ladder. But a lot of it was, they just weren't making any money. They were getting trained good, but they weren't making any money. These were some very qualified people.
All about attrition in Benton County.
We have held pretty decent. Right now, I am 2 full-time people short. On patrol. The big departments in the jails and dispatch and stuff, they're just like we are. You hire all the time. We run our jail with, civilian people. We get them training. Benton County uses mostly deputy sheriffs. Those guys, if once they're certified and everything, if we could have a comparable wage to what they're making over there, they leave and come over here. But they're getting paid enough money to work in the jail, they really can't do that.
Do the two people under you get the same percentage you get, or
I've got one at,
or does the supervisor have discretion?
yep, I've got one at 85% and one at 80.
But we as elected officials can set that percentage, we just can't go above the 85%.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay, I appreciate that.
Yep.
He sits,
Yep.
not us.
That's what I was gonna say, you're boss.
No. He sits, his department.
Okay.
If he wants to take the gentleman from 85 to 82.
But you know that already when you make his wages, don't you? Then how can you do a budget?
Well, he does the budget, and he figures, what he currently is paying those two, 80 and 85. Now, if he changes that, he can go lower, but he can't go over. Does that make sense? And we've got several departments where the deputies are.
So even though the budget fiscal year starts July 1st, so we're talking like in the middle of the year, we as elected officials can change that percentage come July 1st, and we certify that to the board then. So they don't necessarily know we have that in mind, but we would have to have it within our means of our budget ahead of time.
So now as we go through budgets, we're looking at, we have one today that said, I've got to bring my deputies in line for that department, and that they were figuring out a percentage for that. To try to
Does that
bring
mean,
it across the board.
and I'll speak on my behalf, like with my deputies, with elections, we spend time and money to send them to get certified in training, and the years of experience, you don't wanna lose them because we can't keep them here with good pay. Because then you gotta start somebody maybe a lower salary, but you're gonna spend more to send them away for training and to get that knowledge of experience.
And then they leave, like, you spend 2 years on it, or a year and a half on getting them all trained,
Yeah.
and then they leave, and then you're starting over.
And like with my department, the legislation passed, the auditors can be fined $10,000 out of my pocket, whether I make the mistake or my employee. So we're held to that higher standard. I want my staff to be well educated and we don't wanna make mistakes, but they do happen, but.
There's no dispute that, you've got to pay up for good people. The problem comes in is funding. Because, that county is not growing by leaps and bounds. I think in our population actually slipped just a bit.
Just a bit, but then you wonder too, how accurate did people fill out their census data?
I get that.
But yes, but that is a lot of where our stuff is based on.
Every census, whether or not they get it filled out, but, so with a declining population, how do we pay more?
What's gonna happen when we get Highway 30 finished?
What's that?
What's gonna happen when we get Highway 30 finished, and these people can start commuting to these small towns? Has that been given any thought with you supervisors?
As in what?
Well,
The small towns, we've got no jurisdiction in those towns.
Taxes are gonna be cheaper, their schools are not gonna have near the problem that they have in the bigger schools. And they can commute now a lot faster.
So you're saying that it's going to decline in the smaller communities?
No, I'm saying it's gonna be bigger. I think it's gonna be bigger.
Well, let's pray that you're right, but.
We have that problem right now in Atkins. Atkins just jumped over the leap of 2,000 people, all right? Majority, I don't know what the percentage is, but the majority of the kids still go to Cedar Rapids. Their parents take them to work.
We were in the 90s, the second fastest growing county in the state, right after Dallas County, just west of Des Moines. We're still seeing growth. The the population of the county back in 1900 was about 25,000 people, and then it dipped down as low, as time, went through the wars and everything, got down around 20,000, and now we're right at about 26,000. But I think you already have a large number of people that have moved into the county starting in the 90s that have been commuting, for over 20 years, 30 years.
And Atkins, I've been dealing with the new, or I guess the old council that's just went off now, but they're projected to hit 3,000 people by the year 2030.
Is most of that TIF?
Quite a bit of it.
That's
Actually,
hurts.
they haven't really been real active in the TIF, but
The
they.
TIFs are really, that law is really starting to hurt. And that's a joke. And really, who makes all the money is the person selling the lot.
Yes.
And people better wake the hell up because.
It usually goes to the developers first.
Yeah, and it's wrong. And they were a good idea when they started, that was in the 80s, when stuff was really bad. And they just grow on it, and it's become.
Well, and a lot of them have the grandfather dates, some of them don't, or they get the extensions.
Well, they just keep extending it, in the top.
Yep. And
Shouldn't be.
it does, like when you look at the valuation report, which I just got done doing.
But as far as the school goes, when somebody leaves, the state aid leaves with them.
That's right.
If you weren't TIF, the taxes go to Benton County. If you're talking about making money, you're gonna make a hell of a lot more money. Because you don't have to pay to educate kids.
Yeah.
And you ain't educating them for that, what they're getting. I don't want them to leave, but I'm telling you, that TIF is what's hurting our tax base. And that's why whoever's left is paying it. And that's not right. But I don't know how you change it, the legislature changes.
I do always explain to people, if you do live in a TIF district, your levy rate is the same whether you are or not. It's just how it's diverted.
Just where the money.
Right.
Well, that's a big deal. Hurts the schools, and hurts town.
But it does confuse people when they see that on their
Oh,
statement.
sure.
They'll call and think that's why their taxes went up, but it's the same overall rate.
So how was the valuation?
We did increase. Yep, it was pretty good. I mean, I can compare it, but I didn't. I should have brought that for you guys.
And you don't want to do the supervisor's job. But most of those other ancillary compensation is not their problem, but they're, we gotta worry about the elected officials.
Yes, and fiscally, our budget, our fiscal balances were higher this year. I did obtain all the grants and funding that I could apply for. I mean, it's obviously, if I wouldn't have took the incentive to apply for some, I'm not talking the ARP, I'm talking the public safety for the CARES Act, all that, I've gotten over 600,000 back. And if I wouldn't have took the initiative to do that, we would not have got that, because it's reporting and you have to keep them sufficient. There's a lot of open records requests for that. I have to be very transparent where that money in and out, so. I feel like we've done a good job getting recovered for our COVID costs and that, so. Yeah. And I know you guys have heard about that ARP fund, so we got 4.9 million, the county did. So that will offset some of our other costs in other areas, because you have to follow the guidelines of where it can be spent.
So one of the things that us supervisor's been dealing with, we've been putting it off, the sheriff knows all about it, he's been dealing with it. We're going with a new radio system. Right now, typically, we're kinda in an island right now, Benton County. Our deputies, fire department, all that cannot talk to Tama County, Iowa County, they all went to the new system, new radio system, the state forced everybody to go to. What we have now is obsolete. So I just signed a contract here in November for $7.2 million. The most money that a supervisor has ever spent.
Or an auditor that has to, keep those funds.
And now we have to figure out how to come up to pay for this. Now, we're gonna use some of this ARP money.
Yep, we can use it.
But even, it's 7.2 million. 4.9, if we use it all, we still gotta come up with the rest, which we can't use it all because other departments want some of that money.
That's a one-time, $7.2 million.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to figure out that 1 year. I mean, you know what I mean? You gotta catch up to the other counties.
Even dealing with banks and.
They gotta have communication.
The interest rates are low right now, so what we decide, we're gonna do 5 years?
Yeah.
Somehow.
The buyer was 7.
Yeah, we're gonna do some debt
But
service.
even then, you know, the monthly payment, if I remember right on the paperwork, is like $125,000 a month.
Yeah.
A month.
Who's that company we should bust out?
For how many years?
Five, we're gonna, well.
You gonna do it for about 5?
Yeah, we're gonna estimate it, spread it out for 5 years. Cause then again, that'll go obsolete in what, 15 years, and we'll have to.
Can you renegotiate it if interest would go? No, you're set solid.
So if it's a loan, you can always renegotiate.
Yeah,
You
that's
go to
what I
another
saw.
Institution, get another loan.
Yeah.
The tough part with Benton County, you know, having been in real estate for quite some time, Gary is involved in real estate as well. You know, you get people who used to move to Benton County because Benton County was lower on their taxes. Unfortunately, that's gonna probably be changing. Because of things like this 7.2 million, you know, and, you know.
Would you agree it's still happening today? That's why Atkins is growing so fast, it's just moving along.
That's very true, plus the,
It's
I
close
would
to
say-
commuting, I think.
it's a very good commute, that is true. The quality of life compared to the city is much better, you know, so.
Yeah, I think Atkins is gonna just
Well,
explode.
that's Atkins, but we've got the whole Benton County, you know, that at some point, we're gonna, I hate to see us tax ourselves to death. Whether it's Benton County or wherever, but yeah. It's great to do all this, but it's tough to pay. So,
Well, if you keep declining with people, that's the problem. And, you know, the county right next to me, they can build a house anywhere. Most of those houses are $400,000 or more. We don't have that in that county. They just go do it there. I know, that isn't all good either. But I'm telling you, that's how they're expanding their tax base.
I know.
If you have less people, you know, if you wanna lay businesses out here or people, you're gonna have, whoever's left's gonna pay more, just the way it is.
It's hard to go around and revalue the remaining people, if you will, and charge them more on their property taxes. I mean, it sucks. I'm taxed to death.
So Haley, since you know, you're gonna get a handle on your plans, grants, et cetera, if you were the wizard with the crystal ball,
My wand.
give us your wand, yeah, give us a scope of what you're making a calculator for this year comparatively, like the 21 versus 22. Are we gonna be, we just talked about $2 million deficit between the 7 point whatever it was,
Yep.
4.9. But there's a lot of things taken into
Right.
consideration, you see that, we all don't.
Actually, like Melinda and I both see it, we've done very well. A lot of the departments, obviously with COVID, working, you know, more remotely. They're not doing all the traveling that we normally do. Some of the training can be done by Zoom, so we've saved a lot in mileage reimbursements. I mean, I think overall, everybody's done very well in each department. Like at the end of the fiscal year, there wasn't a lot of waste going out. There was a lot of cushion left over per se. I mean, once we have that spending authority, it doesn't mean you're gonna spend up to that. So like when we publish that in the paper, you look at it as a whole, and people think, wow, that's huge. They gotta know the pass-throughs as well, we have to show. So like our watershed, I have to show that as an expense because we have to, as a county, have the authority to spend that, even though I'm getting reimbursed from the state. So it's a month-to-month basis. We get reimbursed for a lot of that stuff, for our health, our public health, we have grants for that. Ron's public safety, we resubmit different things. Each year is a little different, you know, to say, but this year we did very well, but obviously we had more opportunity for grants and such too. So. But I do feel that ARP fund is gonna help us, you know, not so much, you know, with the raises that's in our admin side, but at least we know we have that cushion to offset other areas like we talked about. So I still think as a whole, we're doing very well. So, we're not scraping yet. I'm not saying go give us all 30% raise, even though I'd like that myself, but I do want to.
I was just looking at bank accounts today.
Yeah.
And, cause I just did my Like I was telling the supervisors today, there's money there I could go and invest. We usually put them in CDs, but I'm getting more in interest rates in the checking accounts than I am putting them in anywhere, so.
Yep, and we're getting interest on this 4.9 million too. We've set it up that way so that it's going into our general fund as well.
Yeah, 'cause we only have two.
Yeah, we got half of it this fiscal year, we got 2.5, and then we'll get the other half next
And
fiscal year.
that's an account all by itself, and it gets its own interest, so.
Yep.
But the interest rates suck.
Yeah.
They're not that great.
But still, it's nice to borrow on the low rates, but yeah.
If you're,
Yeah.
you know.
I wish they were
financing
better
something
to
straight.
generate.
I could generate more money for the county if they were a little better.
I feel really good.
But I'm again with Ron, I see all the different new hire, people leaving, and again, I just wanna stress that it's important to keep those experienced people here, so.
Hey, you mentioned that cost of living has increased by 6.2%. Is that over the last year, and where did you get that information from?
The consumer price index.
Carol Laker.
Yeah, yep. You got that one too, 6.2. And what, social security, we all know our groceries, gas, everything's just jumped right now,
Give
so.
you an example, I priced a garage door today, it's double what it was a year ago. Double.
Yep.
And I did lose an employee, she went to work for somebody else that it was about higher wage with bonuses, so.
Yeah. And counties cannot give bonuses,
No.
obviously.
I try to stress to have great benefits, awesome benefit package, and being, it's a good place to work, so.
So, I asked Ron, how's attrition been with the rate department?
Well, you're here
Yeah,
because
cause she left, yes.
she was getting paid more. I go to Lynn County.
Right.
Right, and then, like I said, I've only lost one employee, well, I lost two, we lost two, after Kelly left and Michelle left.
Right.
But that's cause she didn't like, the job wasn't for her. She was doing a great job, it wasn't for her. And then I took over, and then hiring, at first the first time we hired, we had 90-some applications. This last time when I hired, I was down to about 25. So, and that was with us raising our wage a little bit.
We had an attorney, coached by the Blackhawk County Public Defender. And we use that term, they're not technically coached, it's not illegal to hire someone else's, but that's what it feels like, So, it happens.
They just don't wanna work with you.
Now, it was the money and the youth center.
Commute was probably the biggest thing, 'cause she was up
And
north.
it was the money and a commute thing.
And you had one too, leave to another county, didn't you?
Well, I'm short two right now.
Yeah.
I've had multiple people in jail.
For other counties too.
Your office workers left to another county though, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Lost an office worker there. The jail and dispatch is a difficult one for us to keep people in. And we did a study for surrounding counties, the smaller counties our size, our jail and dispatch for the civilian people, we're paying better than those. We're at the top in those two. Patrol, we're not the top, but the jail and the dispatch, we're right near the top.
And you have to send them for training and all that too, don't you, every time?
One of the problems you've seen in law enforcement, both officers and jailers and attorneys, it's not the most desirable place to go. And through the years, and with some of the stuff happening in the country, there've been a number of officers from the small departments that have just left. They've left to go back to different pursuits, things like that. So for instance, we had the attorney that left for the Blackhawk County Juvenile Public Defender, and we advertised. We advertised everywhere, and we advertised for over a month. and we had 2 applicants. That same position 15 years ago, we had 34, 35 applicants. It used to be back when we had Sheriff Copenhagen, when you hire a deputy, you have the Civil Service Commission convene, and they do all these testings and everything, and then they're just certified by law a list of the top 10 applicants. We used to get 10 applicants certified to Sheriff Copenhagen. We haven't had 10 people get on, we haven't had a list of 10 in over 20 years. And now, you get, maybe 10 people total show up, and not all of them pass the test. And so for the last one you hired, you had, out of the folks that applied, there were 4 on the list. And by law, the sheriff can only hire from that list. You can't hire someone else that they should have considered. We're just not seeing anybody apply for these jobs. And then the people that do want to go into these jobs, Lynn County is this great mecca of, and Blackhawk to a lesser extent where they want to go because the benefits and the salary is higher. And that's where through the years, we've lost attorneys, and we've lost them to Lynn County and Blackhawk County.
Anybody else have questions?
I'll just make a comment. Basically, by state ordinance or law, our hands are kind of tied in what we're going to end up doing with the salary in that position. We're going to have to do something. How much and what percentage, this is more than just the one department that this board is looking at, so, yeah,
I would direct it to the sheriff first and then we'll do the other county officers. Because that one is kind of more strict control by the code. What we have to do.
Yeah.
So then we can take those 2 separately. That being said, do we want to work off that 120 average, that 123, whatever? I can make 28 or 29%.
Any other thoughts on this topic?
Well, the question is, in my mind, if in fact we do this, are we still gonna be behind in the future? Or are we gonna be way ahead? Or are we gonna just be where we're at right now? That's the question. I mean, you gotta.
Well, I'd like to think, Gary, this part that came out to us, there's one spot here, Lee County increased the sheriff's by 45%, his salary. And so you're gonna see all the counties doing basically the same thing. And so as far as the sheriff goes, I think it's gonna be even correct. I think next year, yeah. So,
The only 2 I saw in here, Ron, was obviously one, Key, Johnson, or Metro, Des Moines. They're probably a little pricier.
We are Metro Waterloo and Metro Cedar Rapids.
Des Moines,
Yeah. We get business out of both places. More so Cedar Rapids than Waterloo.
That's all combined in Ankeny, that's all like one big old,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, I mean, when you compare it to the, like you said, the highway patrol, those numbers are close, 120, 122, 123.
Yeah, the cities were all over. And they're all over, I've got them, it goes down in the lesser population, and the cities are still all over. The population chart I've got goes down to Garner at 3,065, and they're paying a guy $81,000. Rock Valley's 4,059, and they're paying $91,000.
we're talking about this because the legislature changed the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
We gotta
It's
deal
all
with
correct.
this.
They're all over.
It's gonna be, to get it even, it's just gonna be chaos, I mean, not chaos, but.
There's not a big option here, you know, otherwise they're in violation of the law. I don't know what that does to us, you know.
Well, she can get fined, I don't wanna miss it in.
I don't get fined on my personal check.
We're getting out of here now.
It's on
Yeah.
elections.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Yeah,
When they threaten you, that-
yeah. Like election needs more scrutiny, right?
Oh my God.
I guess they didn't like the last election results.
Benton County did a fine job.
Yes.
Glad to hear it.
I will agree.
I hate to think. Yeah, well, those are just statistics.
I would make a motion, just to kick the thing off, that we increase the sheriff by 28.5%.
That's because it was 28 to 29%.
I get 28.48.
Well, which is that number, you only raised 6.5 average of the towns that we
Yeah.
talked about. So there you go. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry, any, pardon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, so let's move on. What about everybody else? Questions, comments?
Can we, does that, can I make one comment? So like I know you did this motion separate, but like with the boards, to say an example, if somebody had 4% and you guys cut that in half, do they still have to do that equally? Okay,
Mhm.
so just keep that in mind, right?
So if they say 6% for everyone else, not that they will,
Right,
and the board decides to cut Ron Tippett down by the
then
board,
we would
you know, in
get
half,
cut
14%, everyone else is gonna be half.
correct.
Is what they
I just
did.
wanted to point that out.
Okay.
That's just how the code reads.
If you reduce one, everyone gets reduced by the same percentage.
Correct.
What if you did a lump sum?
It's the same thing, lump sum and a percentage, you can convert one to the other and the other to the other.
But some of them, if you notice, some of the other counties are doing a lump sum rather than a percentage too. And so I think that can go, but again, if you reduce it, it would be.
You still do it by percentage, so if someone gets a $5,000 increase recommendation, you figure out what that percentage was, you figure out what everyone's percentage was, and, you know, you take it down by the same percent.
Or the stipends or,
That sounds fair.
cause I see some departments got stipends, so why couldn't they just do that with the sheriff one? Like a lump sum, then it wouldn't go into effect.
Well, I think the stipends are for the chairperson of the
Sure.
board,
Or-
because they have a little bit of extra
But,
duty.
yeah, yep,
Maybe more meetings.
I just saw that on the.
Ron, may I ask you one other question before we move on?
Yes.
How do you think this is gonna affect your union?
Contact the register. If they're back.
In order for us to compete, we're gonna have to do more money. Because we can't compete in the market. We can't hire people if we can't compete in the marketplace.
When is that negotiation stuff again?
Another 2 years left.
I said that, they're locked in still.
Just be warned.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
cause that's one of the things they can negotiate, they can't negotiate their
Yes.
insurance.
Thank you.
Secondary roads has 1 year left, don't they, Dave? You were in charge of that, David.
Yes.
Are they two? I mean,
Three, but
one.
didn't they just
It's 3, but
resign?
it's like a year and a half left on it.
Yeah.
Sheriff's Department's has one additional year over secondary.
Right.
They're off years, yeah.
meeting offices, we've always tried to, never went extra, no one went backward, with a consumer price index, and then some kind of, increase for the work, and again, to try to maintain staff, especially the upper end deputies. Someone did a little thing here, I know if they stopped at 7 and jumped to 10, I'm looking to see if there's anything.
I was just adding that, but I just thought, like, if we're looking at dollar wise, it doesn't like, yeah, yeah. I didn't have room to make it all that.
One thing I also want to throw out there real quick, the health insurance is going up.
Oh, yeah.
If you wanna know how much, $117 a month for a single person, and for a family plan is $261 a month.
The increase?
They're looking at over $3,000 for a family plan.
Well, we got the 2% qualified for, so it could have been even more.
But as group life insurance goes, as long as you allow that, that's a bargain.
I know, I've heard that.
Yeah, people who talk to this, I heard what's going on.
I had a son that's 26 now, and he had to go on his own, and he's learning the hard way. It takes a big chunk out of your paycheck.
So it's probably a huge increase comparatively to what's been enforced in place. Granted, don't.
Right,
Right.
and you're not, and as far as the law goes, the comp board's not supposed to compare our benefits, so, just, I know,
Get that.
yeah.
Well, what you're getting at here is big increase compared to what was present, correct?
Some of the other things we always look at is how we set with other counties, and our other offices, we seem to be where we should be in comparable size, or maybe even slightly over, with the exception of maybe the attorney's office, which is a little bit less. And then I'm looking at this sheet here, and it looks like there's, 7s and 8s and 10s, and I mean, that's kind of seems what other counties so far haven't made any changes within that range.
We retain employees have not been the highest, and I think part of that is you must have a pretty pleasant place to work. That's considered by a lot of people. I mean, when you got a crappy place to work, sometimes it just isn't worth it. You make it a pleasant place to work, that is a big deal with a lot of people, because not everybody's pleasant. And some of those places aren't worth the extra money, but you still gotta be competitive.
Right, yep.
So, any recommendations as far as an increase for the balance of the people we're talking about here? Or more questions?
Well, if you compare it to everything else, the bare minimum to start is 6%. I got 5.9, what our employees going backwards, so that's the bottom, I think. What do they want?
I had 4.6.
Well, if you look, it didn't range, so I kind of took the median, I don't know which one to use, it's some of them that show higher. So if you want to round it to 7.
Right, yeah, cost of living is.
So 5 to 7 plus 3 would be 10.
I will make a motion that everyone else receive 10%.
And it's easy math.
I know, I like that. I'm the one that gets to do all the playing.
Discussion or second or?
Well, I've going to a few of these, and we had a hard time getting 4 before, and suddenly we're going to 10.
We're in a different universe right now, unfortunately.
I know, but, cost of living's about 6.
Actually, closer to 7.
Yeah. 7 be adding 1%.
Right.
No.
No, it's 7, his
Closer
base
to
is
7.
it's like 6.8%.
CPI increase.
And say you do it this year, and come next year,
Might be different.
and maybe CPI.
I don't know to go backwards.
We're not gonna cut them, but I mean, they gotta live in the current world.
And if, this is a joke, okay, disclaimer, this is a joke. If you guys don't do 10%, you're gonna make Tippett the most wanted man in the entire county. You'll have the biggest target on his back. You really wanna do that to him?
You know what?
Maybe you do wanna do that to him, I
I
don't know.
home too.
I signed his paycheck.
I would like to put in there as a disclaimer, it's the office of the sheriff and not the person holding the office.
They put one eye open.
Because if it went by the person holding the office, that'd be the sky's the limit.
It probably doesn't matter. I was gonna ask for 10% across the board for the non-sheriff personnel, and that's based on, I mean, no offense, the numbers, and rightfully so, have been conservative out of this board's recommendations over the last decade, and we continue to see other counties, go higher. And I'm not talking just the lean counties of the world, but the Joneses, the Tama's, the Bremers.
You make the motion.
Yeah.
Who seconded it?
Over here.
Andy.
Okay, we'll second. Okay, we have first and second. 10%, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carried. 10%.
Thank you.
So 28.5% for Big Daddy Warbucks over
And, I know a barber around.
Well, I appreciate you guys all willing to sit on this. I know it's not always fun, but we appreciate it.
Well, the thing it is, we've always been before about, and can't understand, supervisor had a hell of a job, just like runs, trying to catch this. But look at the others now, you can't even get a hammer and get it done, right? Because they have to start the people, I mean, and we have service organization.
Seriously.
We're the same thing going on at the hospital right now. Yeah, 65.
Agreed.
I wanna go back and bring London and not, we're playing out right now.
It's quite scary, really.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I can say.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. We're done. Thank you.